I love doing collabs. Hi, my name is Agata. Welcome in Agata's Cottage. It's time for reveal of my pink and blue or blue and pink collab with Kelly, part of Sistas of Stitchcraft. Kelly is also on Instagram as right so and she is fabulous, fabulous sewist. I had so much fun during this collab with her. It was absolute pleasure. Thank you, Kelly, for agreeing to do this collab with me. If you haven't watched our videos from last week, I will leave mine and Kelly's video down in the description box below. The goal of our collab was to sew some blue fabrics from our stashes. In fairness, the blue fabric that Kelly sewn up was a recent addition, but it was so fabulous it couldn't stay in her stash. It had to be made up. And I seen sneak peek and it's gorgeous. Now what I made. So I've been struggling with my summer wardrobe. Some of you might know I'm very minimalistic. It's not exactly by design and it doesn't apply to my pattern and fabric stash. It's usually because it's way easier for me to sew for others than it is to sew for myself. I don't need to do that many fitting adjustments, and things for others are usually quite easy. So I tend to sew more for my family, for my friends, for charities than for myself. However, my wardrobe needs serious, and I mean serious upgrade. So I thought Collab is a great way to force me to sew a fabric that has been in my stash for way over a year, that I absolutely love and I'm dreaming of wearing it. I started by picking two patterns. First was no-brainer. I went with Feel Pretty Pants by Ellie and Mac, and I hacked them like I did a couple of years ago. I added a flat front, I added ties, and I added pockets. I'll pop the picture here. Of course, it wasn't without problems. Because apparently, when I hacked them a couple of years ago, I just drew on the fabric instead of actually drafting proper pattern pieces. So I like pulled out everything. I was very excited. I started laying pattern pieces on the fabric, and I had no tie pattern piece and no flat front waistband pattern piece, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I had two very randomly placed waist darts on elasticated pants, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why. I know now I was short on fabric for the waistband and I just needed to shorten the back of the trousers. It didn't occur to me to gather it. I don't know why. Anyway, so I had to draft the front waistband and I had to draft the ties. The original waistband, when it's folded in half, is 8 centimeters wide. And I was convinced I have 7 centimeter elastic in my stash. Went through all the boxes, and I mean literally all the boxes, couldn't find it. So thought, maybe I can use two different elastics because I was hacking the pattern to have flat front, doing safety pin and basically feeding elastic through the waistband wasn't an option. So I had to figure out how to attach the elastic when I don't have one big or thick elastic. And let's say I unpicked the waistband a couple of times. I tried various versions and then I decided that it's not doable because the fabric that I have been using, this fabulous viscose from Dreisenstoffen, was fraying like there is no tomorrow, was catching runs like there is no tomorrow, and I was afraid that eventually I'm gonna poke the hole. And I had only scraps left. So what I could do? Find the widest elastic in my stash and use this and just make the waistband slightly bit smaller. It seems like an obvious decision, but because I had already ties attached, etc., I really didn't want to unpick. And to be honest, I didn't. The waistband kind of curves in a little bit when it goes to where it attaches to the ties, and is slightly longer or taller at the front than it is at the side. The elastic I had in my stash was 6 centimeters wide, so I did 1/8 of an inch stitch from the top of the waistband. I interfaced the waistband. I use stretch interfacing. I didn't have super lightweight interfacing in my stash, and I couldn't wait for it to arrive. So I thought, okay, let's Google it, see what's out there, and the information was either use organza as a stabilizer, as a sewn-in stabilizer, or use stretch interfacing, and that's what I did. I love the additional stability that stretch interfacing allows, and I'm very happy I did that. I have to admit, I unpicked that waistband multiple times. And I mean multiple times. I wasn't happy with the length of the elastic. That just felt like it's not tight enough. Then it felt it's too tight, and I had nightmare, and it was all my own doing because I went willy-nilly, let's wing it type of approach towards it, instead of okay, let's measure everything, draft everything, and then go from there. But it actually reminded me how much fun I have when I try to figure out stuff on my own, when I go with my own flow and do my own thing. Now let's go to the top. So for the top, I use a Brandy Balloon Sleeve top or blouse by Ellie and Mac. It's new to me pattern. I have it in my stash for a while, but I haven't sewn it up yet until this week. I wasn't sure about the size. Normally I'm XL size in Ellie and Mac patterns, but I was worried that, with the woven fabric it might be too tight. But I checked the measurements, etc. I wish there were final measurements for each cup, but they aren't. They are only measurements for the B cup. The pattern comes with the bust cups, as mentioned, and I absolutely love that. I love when the patterns are coming with either full FBA piece or with the bust cups. It's really helpful. It makes making adjustments easier. Even if you do need to make adjustments, it's way easier to do. Just for example, lift the dart, lower the armhole, than to add FBA on top of that. I decided on the size, so I went with XLD. My printer had some problems that day, and I wasn't entirely sure that it printed the pattern correctly. So I decided to make a quick muslin, mainly to check the placement of the darts. And I'm happy I did, because it made me realize that the bust dart is way too low for my bust. However, the armhole is way too high for my body frame. I have relatively long distance from my shoulders to my bust apex or to my armhole, and a majority of the patterns are kind of short here. I didn't realize that until recently. I started playing more with the fit, but about that in another video. So I decided to add half an inch here across the bust, so I can have a little bit more movement, a little bit more flexibility, and all the bits falls where they're supposed to. But I also needed to raise the bust dart by an inch. Overall, it was raised by half of an inch because, I lowered everything by half of an inch here. I think it lays pretty in a good spot. It's not super long dart, at least not on me. However, when I did the muslin, I realized it's slightly bit tight in my tummy area and could use tiny bit more space at the front. To be honest, I didn't want to reprint the front of the pattern in next cap size or next size. I just added half of an inch to the front, so I will have tiny bit more movement, so it's like a centimeter and something. And I love those adjustments. I also did a little hack at the back to accommodate sway back adjustment. If you're on my channel for any length of time, you know that sway back adjustment is one of my go-to adjustments that I start for majority of the patterns. I do have quite big curve. Hope you can see it here. Because of my big curve at the back, I do sway back adjustment, and I usually take an inch, sometimes even more, from the depth, and it's just easier to do it when you have a center seam. So I added center seam, and then because I like to make my life difficult, I decided to add a split and a tiny button with a loop, because why not? I found that button in my stash and I thought, it's just one, let's use it. And it adds just tiny little extra touch to the top. I do love how this set turned out. I absolutely love it. I showed it to hubby, showed it to Alice, and everyone was just, wow, it's fantastic. You look great. And I feel great. I feel like I'm $1,000,000 and it just makes me happy. I do love dressing up in colors I love, in fabrics I love, in shapes I love, because that brings me joy. And this set is just cherry on the top. I can wear it together as a faux jumpsuit. I can wear trousers with my blue broider anglaise top. I can wear it with even white t-shirt, because I tried and the trousers look fabulous with white t-shirt. I can wear it with my pink tank top. I can wear top with my cobalt trousers, with my high-waisted jeans, with what's the name, with my Simplicity 1887 broider anglaise skirt. It goes well with so many things, even with my boho upcycled skirt that I made a year ago. I had so much fun doing this collab. It was just amazing. I love sewing with other sewists when we are working on similar projects, or we are working with similar team, etc. It just makes whole sewing experience way more enjoyable, and you can always share your day, you can share things that are going well or not, and it's always so much fun. So if you have a friend that you think might enjoy doing kind of collab with you, doesn't have to be on YouTube. You can do it just the two of you. Just go ahead and do something like that. It's great fun. Will there be more sets? Potentially, not necessarily with those same patterns. I do like to try different patterns, and I do have a lot of patterns in my stash. I absolutely love this set, and I cannot wait to wear it out. We are going away in a couple of weeks, just for a night out, the three of us, and I cannot wait to wear it in the hotel for a dinner, because I think I will look fabulous. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, go to check Kelly's video. I'm sure you're gonna love her make. Kelly, thank you so much for doing this collab with me. I had fabulous time. What do you think about my set? Do you like it? Would you wear a set like that? Do you like sewing cord set? I'm curious. Please leave your answers in the comments below. Don't forget to check Kelly's video. I hope you will enjoy her video as much as I did the collab with her. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, clean your sewing machine and change your needle. Happy sewing! Bye!